I can't hear you. Thuy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thuy, I can't hear you. Talk. Okay, everybody, you're watching as we're beginning to ramp up for the show, and we are having some technical difficulties. So please bear with us as we're getting ready to start the show. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yes. Woo. Oh my God. Talk about last minute. My poor heart. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Hi, Marla.
How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you. This is Thuy.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Thuy. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
All
Now.
right.
We had some technical difficulties.
All right. Real quick, Thuy, if you could do me a favor, and on the Zoom window, down in the bottom left corner, you'll see the little microphone there, and then next to it, there's a little arrow that points up.
Microphone.
On the left, lower
Bottom left corner.
Bottom left. Uh-huh.
All right. Click that little arrow.
Okay.
All right. Go to audio settings at the bottom.
It just says video setting. It doesn't have audio setting.
Did you do the one next to the mic instead of next to the video?
Oh, got it. Okay. Uh-huh.
All right, so go to audio settings, and then
Okay.
where your microphone is, if it says automatically adjust volume, make sure that's unchecked.
Okay. Automatic. It doesn't say automatically check volume. It has microphone, same as system, select a speaker, test speaker and microphone, switch to phone audio, leave computer audio, and audio. Okay.
All right, so where it says microphone same as system, that means it might not be picking up your headset. Could you go ahead and tap on your microphone part there on the headset?
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right, so I'm not hearing any.
I'm not hearing it either.
So you're going to want to hit the little drop-down menu where it says same as system. And what other options does it give you?
Should it do automatically adjust microphone settings, which is underneath the microphone?
Right, we don't want that on. We want that off.
Right,
So,
not checked, right.
correct.
Hold on. Okay. Select a microphone, select a speaker, and then where do you want me to?
All right, so on your microphone where it said same as system, that should be like, that's a little drop-down menu. So click there. There's like a little arrow where it said same as system for your microphone.
Okay. Yes.
All right, and what is the other options it gives you for their microphone?
It doesn't give me anything. It just clicks off of it.
All right, so there should be a little arrow where it says same as system to the right of where it says same as system. In that little box, there's a little arrow that points down.
No.
All right, well then we'll just go ahead and skip all that. If it's not giving you those options, we'll just go with what we got. I mean, you don't sound bad, so we'll be okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and get you started here, Marla.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep, we can hear you.
Let me turn
Are you still hearing us?
Yes.
Okay,
Loud
cool.
and clear.
All right.
You
here
might
we
want to
go.
sit back just a little bit, Thuy.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, here we go. Sending the feed away. Have a good show.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
I love my music.
Welcome to an enlightened hour of interactive talk. This is Guided Spirit Conversations with host Marla Goldberg. In this program, we spotlight guests from all over the globe who have helped others change their lives, and will provide you with the tips, tools, and techniques that you need to help make a difference in your own life. Now, here is Marla Goldberg.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. Wow, do we have a show for you today? My spiritual sister, my soul sister, my spiritual ninja, as she likes to call herself, Thuy Dam, is with us as my guest. She is a Renaissance woman. She is proficient in Chinese face reading, space clearing, aromatherapy, and energetic clearings. She resides in Denver and is the founder of the Ascension Center and Soyu Boutique. The Ascension Center is a place to learn and ground in the various classes and talks that she offers. Soyu Boutique is Thuy's place of physical transformation by way of spray tans and teeth whitening. As she likes to say, where beauty and energy align. Welcome, Thuy. How are you doing today?
Oh, well, kind of a little bit of a panic, but you know what? All things come together and we're just right on time. So now it's all good. And it's so nice to see your smiling face and yeah.
It's always good to see
excited
yours
about
as
it.
well. So let's start at the beginning. What started you down your spiritual path?
Oh, so it was probably at the end of my 20s when it really started coming together where things really didn't make sense. And now that I look back at it, and then it was because it was my return of Saturn. And I don't know if you know what that is, but in astrology, there's two returns. One is like at 29 and a half, that's its peak. And the other one is when you're at 58. And this is a coming of age time where from the outside, everything looks like it's great, but something inside is stirring in you, like something's missing. And that's because it's supposed to teach you these lessons so that you can actually do your life's work. And so this is actually a very creative time, even though it's a very emotional time. A lot of people actually get divorced during the time if they got married too early, because then they grew apart from each other, or they changed careers completely, or they take some kind of sabbatical, you know, and try to find their way. So this period is actually like about a 4 or 5 year period. It kind of starts at the age of 27, 28 when you feel the nudges, and then you exit around 33 or 34 if you did your work correctly. So that was probably when I really first started. And then I left everything in Springfield, Missouri, because at that time I owned a clothing store, which was called Soyu Boutique. And then I also had a restaurant with my family. And yeah, I decided to give it all up. And I remember my mom saying, Thuy, just do what it is to make money. I'm like, no, Mom, I don't want to. I just want to be happy. And so, and I read this book, Eat, Pray, Love, and it kind of spawned it all. I'm like, man, if I could just give it all up, or I'd just take a year off and I would do just like she did and do 3 cities instead of 3 different countries. And so my cities were Denver, Seattle, and Scottsdale. But I never left Denver, so I guess I'm still on Eat. And that's when I really, really explored my spirituality, because when I got here, which was March 9th, 10 years ago, it's like, if no one knows me here, who would I be? And so that was what I did. And I had nothing. I came here with a van, and with one van, and I lived randomly at this multi-million-dollar home in Cherry Creek Country Club through a friend that I met through a mentor. that was, we just met over the phone. And then I told her about my dreams. And she told me, well, why don't you come here and I'll help you figure it out. And so I met her, and we just became soul sisters instantly. And she let me live in her home for like $500 rent. And I remember pulling up there. I was like, how is it that I have nothing, but yet like I'm living in this home that I could never create? It was like a $2 million home that she and her husband had created and built. And it was on the golf course. So that was when I was like, man, nothing makes sense. But a lot of other things in my life was kind of like that. And here I gave myself that time to explore. I never know how things are going to go, but I know when change is about to happen. And when I listen to those nudges and really be guided, then things just happen magically for me. And it's that's happening again right now. And I can feel it for myself, and I can feel it for so many people. And a lot of people now that I'm attracting that are coming for this readings and healings, it is very much that. And they want answers, but instead, I want to guide them more where let their purpose find them instead of them trying to find this purpose.
Where do you think this revved up energy or this agitated energy is coming from, which is making all these changes and shifts for people?
It's because in Chinese face reading, we believe that when you enter this world, you sign a contract to do a certain work. And with it comes people and challenges, and at certain times it's activated. If you haven't been doing it, that voice, those little nudges become screams. And so somehow like things will have to, you either need to be stopped completely, either like with health things or just things that you've been ignoring, to take action, to make it work, to actually do something about it. And sometimes like we get so comfortable that we choose not to see it because
true.
It's easy, and sometimes the process isn't easy, or we'd have to do something. And once we know, because once you know, you're awakened and you've got to do something. So I think that's where we are right now with just everything with politics. And I don't want to get into politics, but like groups and such, there's actually more good and changes happening that we've been ignoring that is just starting to rev up. And we're getting into a whole new decade where that is happening. In astrology, with my astrology friends, they tell me a lot of those things. I'm not versed in astrology. I just get tuned into it, and I just get tuned into the energy and then what I choose to do with it.
So let's go into Chinese face reading for a little bit. Why don't you share, what is Chinese face reading?
So it is actually a science of over 3,000 years. And the Chinese, they like to study patterns and seasons. And first it was just really with nature. And then they found that these similar patterns apply to people. And so everything is kind of like a series, a circle, one thing really does apply to another. And it's just because we choose to separate it. But the same patterns in nature are the same patterns in people. And with people, there's the seasons of life. And that maybe corresponds with the season of the time or your own personal seasons. And so with Chinese face reading, it's like a map of your face, of the decades, of things that make you happy, your strengths, your weaknesses or your challenges, which really actually become your strengths, and then also what you're experiencing right now. It's the most present indicator of where you're at.
I love Chinese face reading. So just, full disclosure to the audience, I also studied Chinese face reading, and that's how Thuy and I had connected. And I love the fact that, as I like to say, that, I look at it as two pieces. Your facial features, how large, how small, where they're placed, markings on your face, tell one piece of the story. But then there are birth date patterns that tell the other piece of the story. So together you get the big picture of what a reading is all about. And you go into your cycles. Do you agree, disagree with that?
I do, which is why I love it so much. So it just, with Chinese face reading, it's not like a tarot reading or numerology or astrology. It really examines your strengths and where
It's
you're
concrete.
at.
It's
Yeah.
concrete. I'm sorry, concrete. I can't even say it. Yes.
And then with the reading, I ask people what it is that they're wanting to change right now or focus on right now, or what's giving them challenges and where they are wired, so they can figure out their triggers, so they know their blind spots, and so they can actually alter that energy. There's nothing that's like set in stone. We're a free will universe, and so as long as you're aware, you can choose. So a person that's unconscious, normally because of their patterns, there's three ways that I can see things for them that unfold. But a conscious person knows that nothing is concrete, that they can create anything. I can't read them actually. And I can just show them possibilities, but they choose. And then their choices are unlimited. And so a face reading can really go in so many ways. And then the energy clearing that go with it will help them just move forward so things flow again. But with Chinese face reading, it is really unlimited in what they can choose to do and what they want to improve. And so every reading is different, and you can do a reading infinitely, just depending on what you want to create.
Do you have a favorite facial feature or feature that is not your favorite that you want to talk about?
Yes. Well, now I love every feature. And when I look at faces, I really do fall in love with like every person, essentially, because I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's all about. Oh, if they can only know that, oh, they're so sensitive there. And then I just adore
You just want to
them.
tap them on the shoulder and tell them, right?
Yes. And this weekend, I actually did a face reading party for young girls between the ages of 9 to 16. And I just love showing them their features. And then they fell in love with their features. And then they loved their friends even more because, oh, yeah, she's totally like that. And to see young people, be so
Embrace it.
Embrace it. Yeah. So like one gal who had a widow's peak, now, because she was the only one with the widow's peak, she loves it even more than ever. And now she knows how to extend it. And you could just tell like the light in her eyes that shined after I told her that. And all of them were like, oh, So for me, most of the time I love eyes or lips. And the reason is because eyes are the windows to the soul. It's also where I see people's Shen. And Shen is the amount of passion that they're living from their heart. And so when I tell someone something wonderful about them that they never thought was wonderful before, it lights up.
Changes the perspective.
Yeah.
It changes, and the Shen is really, it's like that twinkle in your eye. So you see somebody with a real twinkle, and it's sort of like, that they are just really vibing high and are like in a happier state because they're embracing what's happening. But then you see somebody who doesn't have that twinkle.
Yes.
And they're the ones who need a lift.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with the eyes too, I used to hate my eyes. And that's why now I guess I love it, because I actually have two different eyes. If you would take a look, one is bigger than the other. Okay.
Yeah.
My eyebrows were the same, and not a lot of people have symmetry in their face. But the more symmetrical your face is, the more in our world we perceive them to be beautiful.
Right.
Okay. So, but now when I see the faces, the left side is the feminine side and the right side is the masculine side. So the right side is what you choose to show the world, and the left side is your private side. And I try to see how much immersion there is with it. And then like with me, I didn't like my eyes because, like I said, they're two different shapes, totally two different eyes. And then on this side right here, if you can see
which is the right side. Because not everybody is watching a video, so I just need to show that. Right. Unshed tears.
Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. So my right side my left eye is puffier underneath. And I used to hate that. I used to get all these devices to like make it less puffy.
Smooth it out.
Yeah. And then I also looked into getting the fat sucked out of it. I was always trying to correct myself and make myself pretty, you know. Now, though, that I know that this is my water element and it is also unshed tears where I hold things where I may be frozen. So when that is a little bit deeper, I know that I need to give it a little bit more self-love. I know that I need to let my feelings flow a little bit more, find a way to express it and let it out, because I will tend to take care of everyone and then just take it all in and then not actually let other people take care of me, or I need to figure it out myself, and I'll go into seclusion, and because I think that I need to figure it out myself and no one else can help me. And so that's really helped me come to a lot more peace and asking for help, especially now becoming a mother, and also loving that feature about myself, and that knowing that my body is just trying to tell me things to take care of myself better.
And that's what it does for your clients too, correct?
Yes.
I mean, what you're saying, because you've internalized the process,
Yes.
that for the clients who come to you, it's the same thing, because a lot of times people don't understand how much power there is in the features.
Right.
And you empower them by teaching them, or, you know, by guiding them through teaching what
Yes.
their features mean and where their power lies. Even in something that you might not find favorable, there's always power in everything. It's perception. It's how you deal with it. Do you agree
Correct.
with that? Yeah.
Correct. So when I tell my clients the features, I ask them if they want to accentuate it, like strengthen that power, you know, so by giving it more love and blessing it, or altering it with like either makeup for a certain time, things that boost that are more high and energetic with it.
Let's talk about plastic surgery or fillers with Chinese face reading.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one. So when you alter a feature, you do alter the energy. So like, for instance, the nose, if you get a nose job, this is one area that's very tricky. Your nose is your power. It's also your lung health and your spinal column. So those that kind of have like crooked noses, I know that they have back problems, or maybe ask if they've always had that, or if there was an accident, certain time of life. Some of them will let me know that they have scoliosis, and it's indicative because of the nose. So by having nose surgery, sometimes that can correct it. Okay, but I present it all to them and let them really think about it and meditate about it before they get that done.
Exactly. And the same thing with fillers and you know, so for example, and then let me know if this is incorrect, but let's go to the forehead. So the forehead is the decade of the 20s. And if you put Botox into it, that the things that you're still working through from the 20s get frozen, and you get stuck and are not able to work through issues you would otherwise be able to. And you can tell that by the lines that are shown on the forehead.
Yes. So if a line connects completely on the forehead, that means you learned the lesson. Okay. If it doesn't, that means you may pick it up later. The other interesting thing with the forehead is not just a decade of the 20s. This area in the middle is your
Between
father.
the eyebrows.
Between the eyebrows is your father's blessing area. It's also how you do your spiritual work and how you hold space for other people, making decisions, considering other people.
Being able to deal with many personalities, or not being able to deal with many at all.
Absolutely.
I mean, it shows so much.
Absolutely. So if you Botox it, you suppress that movement, you suppress the lines, but guess what? Energetically, it's still underneath. And so that may be where your sabotages are, where you keep attracting the same problem until you learn the lesson. So lines are really lessons and wisdom. We don't value wisdom like the old traditions do or other cultures do. But if you didn't learn that lesson, guess what? You keep repeating it because
Over and over and over again.
nothing goes away until you learn the lesson. And the lesson really is about acceptance.
It's true. It is. And we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about face reading, and then we're going to go into some of the other modalities you have. But we're going to take a break right now, really quick. So you listeners, please stick around for more amazing information from Thuy, and we'll be back on the other side. Take care.
All right, good segment. We're all clear. Back in about 2.
Thanks.
Cool.
All right. I'm sorry. I wanted to get more about the client because, with the face reading, so
Yes.
about how it helps clients. So
Yes.
I hope you're okay with.
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
that's really good. With the wisdom and then going to acceptance and then self-love.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that I saw that and I was like, okay, 30-second break. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you saw it.
I gotta shut up.
Well, I want it to come to a natural end. I don't want it to just be abrupt. I just want everything to just flow. And I want you to be comfortable. So that's the most important thing. Because I want to, showcase you. And I want, on the other side, I want the listeners to be able to, learn about something they might not have known about, or some tip, tool, technique, which I know you're going to share at some point in the show. We'll segue it in. I think you wanted to talk about journaling, which is so important. Yeah. And I actually like what you wrote. Yeah, the morning and the evening part.
Yeah,
It is
the
really
5-minute
great.
journal.
Yeah. I like it.
That's when I don't have time to do anything, but I know I need to journal. So, during the break, what plays?
There's I had, like, advertisements. I'm not quite sure what they're playing exactly, but
Yeah.
because I'm on this side of the microphone,
Yeah.
so I don't hear it. So we can
Yeah.
just chitty chat now. Oh my God, I have to tell you, I think I got like 5 gray hairs for today.
So sorry. Oh, I meditated on all of it, and then I was like, "Guys," and then I'm not going to go into it because we just need.
We're being taped, so you don't need to go into it. But yeah, this is so good.
Cool.
I
All
think.
right, coming back in about 12 seconds.
Thank you. I think this is great information, Thuy.
Cool.
Empowerment.com.
You're listening to Guided Spirit Conversations. To reach Marla Goldberg or her guest today, you're invited to call in to the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. And if you've just tuned in, my guest today is Thuy Dam. And Thuy is my soul sister, spiritual ninja. She is a energy healer, Chinese face reader, space clearing professional. She's into aromatherapy. And Thuy resides in Denver, where she has the Ascension Center, where she has the most amazing classes and lectures. So if you're in the Denver area, look up Ascension Center and look up Thuy, and you'll be so happily surprised by what you will receive from the Ascension Center's events. So welcome, Thuy.
Hello.
So tell everybody, let's start with first, tell everybody where to get a hold of you, your website, your email.
So for my main business, it's soyouboutique.com. I'm sorry, .net. And that's the website. But I am in downtown Denver, and I can do certain services remotely, such as my Chinese face reading, because I just need to be able to see your face via either Facebook or Skype. We can also do Google Talk, and then with the energy work, we can do that as well, like remotely. And then I do some coaching, but in Denver, I do services of spray tanning and teeth whitening. So then you would have to come in for that. And my space clearing, I'd actually have to be able to come to your location because I have to walk the space.
Okay. And so with energy work, is there an energy that, you find your clients want more of, or is it they just want to clear space? Or, do they want their space to be just simply cleared so it just feels fresh, like you've opened up a window and a breeze has come in? Or is it something like, I want to feel more harmony in my home or more joy? What do you find with your space clearing clients? And let's share what is space clearing as well.
So space clearing is when you come into a space, either your home or your work, any land, and you harmonize it or bring it back into balance. All spaces hold emotional memory. And that will depend on who has lived there or been there. The more trauma that's been there, the more it will stick to the earth. And if it's not cleared or balanced, it can really affect people in different ways. So people are sensitive in 3 different types of ways. Some people are empathic, which you hear a lot, where they absorb people's energy. So like sometimes when someone just thinks about you, you can feel it. Okay, those are people with a lot of fire energy. Then there's some people that just feel like when they go into a space, they could just feel it and they pick up the space that energy was left there. That's a different kind of empathy. Okay. And then there is a sensitivity where you just feel things on a deeper level and you can't explain it. It's more like spirit stuff, or it's just deeper. Okay, so some people have all 3 of those sensitivities, like my little girl, that's 2.5. Or some people will just be more prone to one or the other. Well, sorry, I'm at work.
Sounds like they're right in your office with you.
Well, my shop is right on the street, which we'll talk about that too. And so when it's right on the street, you can get a lot of hitchhiker energy, what people passing by, whatever they're going through, also spirits that are passing by that can come by. And so I have to clear it all the time and put protection fields on it because I'm so sensitive to that. Some people don't believe it, and some people are affected by it and they don't even know why. But a land can affect a person in one way and not affect another person in another. Like sometimes, like I'll come in somewhere and I'll just feel sick and I just have to get out of there. But my husband, he's fine. He's like, I don't know what you're feeling. You're wackadoo, you're so sensitive, and he's fine. And so it will really vary on each person, the case that I have to go through with their home. And it's just really the time of life. Some people, most of the time it's families that I do it for because they sense that something's off or that's further into their life and their career and just so many things are happening, and then sometimes if a house is really, really old, I'll have to go and clear that space. There's earth stress that is left in there with like meridians and underwater pressure and then faulty pressure lines that can affect a person. Like when I stand on a meridian, my back hurts and sometimes my stomach hurts. And I just know that there's a line there that affects me, but it doesn't affect that person. So I have to clear the space for the occupants of the space. Otherwise I'll be there forever, if it affects the occupants. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And so how did you get into the space clearing?
That was actually more by pure chance. My mentor is Jean Hayner. And at that time, I was going through a huge colitis flare. I couldn't really do any work. I only had like 3 hours a day when I actually had energy. And it's an autoimmune that they diagnosed me with. It's called ulcerative colitis. And so every time I had a flare, though, I just became more sensitive to spaces. And so I took her class that's about space clearing and also energy clearing, because I wanted to be able to clear that for myself. And then I wanted to be among the group of people, of healers, so maybe they can clear me too, because I couldn't explain it, but I just felt it. And every time I got energy work done, it would feel better for me for a certain amount of time, just depending on my condition. So that's why I got into it, and I learned more about energy. And then there was a period of time as well that I did this couch surfing journey. Spirit guided me where I had to put everything away, move out of the house I lived at, and for 100 days to see what showed up. And it was called couch surfing. I didn't even know what couch surfing was at the time. And I thought, my friends thought I was nuts because I was like 35 or something like that. And they're like, what are you doing? You need to stop your gypsy life. And so
Wait a second. Let's back up.
to-
I want you to wait. I need to stop because I need to understand couch surfing. What is couch surfing?
Yeah. So there's actually a society called couch surfing where people live on couches, or like they go to someone's home and someone houses them and lets them stay on their couch. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
and that
I
helps
didn't even
you
know that.
energetically?
Well, no. So at that time, and when I was channeled to do this, I thought I was going crazy too. And so I told some of my clients, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? That's kind of cool. Will you stay at my house for like a week and watch my dog while I'm away on vacation? And you can, you can stay in my room if you want to, or whatnot." And I was like, "Okay." So I just had to do whatever showed up, and every single day I had a place to stay during that 100 days. And they were sometimes for a week, sometimes they for a month, sometimes it was just a day or two. Sometimes they would be there, sometimes they wouldn't. But as soon as I went into a house, I would have to find home for myself in that house. And I would find the area with the most Shakti so that I could meditate. And I would bless the home. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just did it. And that was what helped me develop those skills. And so then when I went to my space clearing course, like 2 years later, I was like, oh, that's why I did that. Oh, this makes sense now. Yeah, I just did it innately.
That is fascinating. It is real. That is a book. Okay. This is what I'm thinking. That experience alone is a book because of how much one can glean from all the different experiences and the energy that you have to, as you say, surf. And go from there. So how wonderful is that?
And in the home, like where what they have pictures, what they choose to have, and would really display like their joy. Certain colors just would show their personality. So I really love coming to people's homes and feeling that out. And then also sometimes like certain antique items or pictures. I'm like, what is this? Sometimes though I would feel sadness in a certain area. And then I would have to clear that. But definitely when I'm in beds, I have to clear beds so that their energy doesn't consume me.
That's so cool. So we're coming into the decade of 2020. It's 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
What can you share with us about what this, coming into the new decade is all about energetically?
Oh, there's a lot. There's going to be a lot of changes. And, people will actually be more empathetic if we channel this correctly and direct it correctly and just have more compassion. And we're moving into a time of changes that can really set us free.
Can you get into more details of when you say time of changes? What are you?
Leaders will emerge that, if they talk about all these things and waiting for other people to do something, people will actually do something, which is really wonderful.
So people will actually, instead of waiting for somebody else to do something, just get up and take the bull by the horn and charge forward.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And I feel that we're going to get more into our feelings and more into our feminine and doing things on a softer way, because the hard way is not working.
The hard way is hard.
The hard way is hard.
And
so that's why there's just more anxiety, more stress. People will be more in tune with getting into meditation, things of relaxation, so that and really focusing on their health instead of trying to climb this huge corporate ladder or, like achieving these high achievement things. When they get there, it's empty. And so there's going to be I think a flip back to some traditional ways, some ancient ways, ancient healings, especially ancient healings, because there's some truth to that, and more of a tribe, more of a community.
Do you feel that this is in correspondence with the veils lifting, making the energy less dense?
Yes, totally. And I just feel things happening, and but I don't know what's going to happen. And everything happens moment by moment, and you just got to watch the waves, that are present to you, because it doesn't do you any good to look at the waves that are like, somewhere else. What are your waves?
Oh, that is such a great way of looking at it. What are your waves, and what do you do with your waves, and how do you, like a surfer?
Right.
Instead of this is energetic waves instead of couch waves.
Yep. I use that analogy all the time. So a professional surfer actually will wait for the waves to come to them and choose which ones they want to ride.
Right.
The amateur ones will swim to it and like wasting all of their energy. So that's really what I want to direct people towards, waiting for their waves, picking the right waves, and that even if a wave passes, it doesn't mean that you missed out on something. Another one will come. Just be aware so you can catch the next big one.
I love that analogy. So quickly, I know we only have a couple of minutes, but I know you're a big journaler. Let's share with the audience about the 5-minute journal.
Yeah, so this is journaling gets you into awareness, and then it also when you name it, you claim it. So some people are like, oh, I don't journal. I don't have time to. Well, there's a 5-minute journal technique, and you can look it up online. But in the morning, it just 3 minutes. Really, it's not even 5. But I put I am the 3 energies that I want to be for that day. If I am tired, I'm like, I want to be more energetic, vibrant, or conscious, or vulnerable. So I put 3 energies that I want to be, and then 3 things I would like to happen for that day. And what was the other thing?
I think there was gratitude. There was what you'd like to make of your day, and affirmations.
Yeah. So then just being thankful for already what I have, because then you're starting on the top already, that you're grateful. So lately I've been using I'm blessed and I'm lucky. I am so lucky that I get to do this. I am so lucky. And the reason I use the word lucky is because then it changes my luck. And a lot of my friends will say, you're the luckiest person in the world. I always get good parking and I always win. I don't know why. They're like, oh, of course you won.
Of course.
It's because I'm so lucky. And I say that, oh, I'm the luckiest person. So if you want to change your luck, keep saying that. I'm so lucky I get to do this. I'm lucky that I have this chance right now. And then the other one is I'm so blessed. I am blessed that I have this. So I bless everything.
And then you've got an evening ritual, a second part of this, correct?
Exactly. So once again, getting to gratitude and what I was lucky to be able to do. And so sometimes those things that I'm lucky to do isn't necessarily work, but like maybe buying lunch for a friend. So the little things about contentment and appreciation. And then sometimes just 3 things that showed up that I didn't expect. That was great. And then what else did it? Sometimes I just change it up.
Better. Yeah, I mean, you want to personalize this. This is not rote, it's not engraved in stone, but it's basically, 3 things that were amazing that happened to you. Whether it's you found that rock star parking space, you were even so doing a kindness for something is something wonderful to do for someone. So it's a wonderful way to end your day. Well, we're going to end this segment, and we'll be right back after this message, and we're going to talk more with Thuy. And if you want to talk to Thuy, please call in at 888-346-9141. Look forward to receiving your call on the other side.
All right, good job. All clear. Back in about 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
When they call in, do we see them, or do they just ask questions?
It's audio, and so they just all ask a question if they call in. So they don't always call in.
We see them, then maybe do a face reading feature. But
oh no, but it goes through Matt. So Matt will pick up if somebody calls in and say like Kathy from Illinois. When we get to it, they'll have to sit until we we can get to it. And then we'll say, hi, Kathy, blah, 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 and this is Thuy, and what do you want to say? And, they ask the question. So it's, a lot of times people are driving or they're at work, so they can't call in.
Yeah, right.
But if they can, I want them to have the ability to actually ask their question, have it answered by you, the guest. So, so that there's a touchstone piece to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that. But I really do like this, this quick affirmation morning and night. It's almost what I do on my own. I do my gratitudes in the morning, and then at night before I go to bed, I do my gratitudes as I'm going to sleep. As I like to say, instead of counting sheep, I count gratitudes.
Yes. Yeah.
I say that often. So
the thing I didn't touch upon is what I could have done better, because I'm always like trying to be better, but not to beat myself
address
up.
that. Well,
Huh?
yeah, because what you could have done better. It's like I could have been, better at letting somebody in, but is there a twist you could put on that? Because I'm almost feeling like if you say, what can you do better? You're bringing in something that you might be judging yourself on.
Yeah.
So,
So most of the time I try to do like where I could have been more patient. I could have slowed down. I could have paused a little bit more. I could have complimented someone, acknowledged them more.
so could it be changed to saying things I might have done
Differently,
more positively,
more
or
positive. Yeah.
something like that. Just changing the vernacular
Yeah.
changes the energy. So
Yeah.
So I'm not picking apart what you're doing because I think it's fabulous. I adore you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. We don't even have to go with that, but yeah.
All right, Marla, just about to come back.
perfect. Thanks, Matt.
Cool.
You are listening to Guided Spirit Conversations. To reach Marla Goldberg or her guest today, you're invited to call in to the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. Today we have Thuy Dam. Thuy is amazing. She's an amazing energy healer. She does 5 Chinese face readings, aromatherapy, space clearing, and she resides in Denver and has a facility called the Ascension Center where she holds classes and talks and is just amazing. But before we start talking to Thuy again about all of her abilities and her absolute sparkly brilliance, I want to talk to you about our charity shout out time. And we do charity shout out every week. And Thuy's charity is Smile Train. So Thuy, why Smile Train?
So I got this picture from them, and it was this little kid with a cleft. And I don't know if you know what that is, but these kids are born with this birth defect. And some of them are really severe where they can't eat. And it's just so sad to see it. And especially when you're a mom, and I have a little baby girl that's 2.5 now. She was a preemie. She was born 2.5 months early. And she lucked out though that she was the perfect preemie. But I could just I could just feel for the moms that have this, and especially in third world countries with their babies, and what they're going to do about it. And this affects their life. And then in Chinese face reading, the mouth area is your earth element. This is your ability to receive. This is your area of relationships. And there's just so much more to the mouth area. And so I love this charity because I try to do at least one child a season, where I give away a surgery, and it's $375, where it just saves the life of one child.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is my charity. And you don't have to give that amount. I mean, you can give any amount. But it's like, I'm going to give one surgery a season, one kid, to change one life. And, we all think that we need to do these big things. But really, we just need to do one small thing. And first of all, do what's near you first, and then if you can expand, do that. But whatever speaks to your heart. And so since I also do teeth whitening, and smiling is so important, a smile can change an interaction, and it can lift someone up if we all smiled more. And I also have one of my slogan is smile before they do, because if you smile before they do, you set the tone of that interaction, and you're actually more in control as well. And I fell into this a few years ago when my partner, he was all dressed up, suited up, and he looked so handsome and so powerful, but he has this like very dominant and serious look about him. So I was like, okay, honey, smile before they do. And he's like, you know what? That is really good. Because he can be really intimidating. But if he smiled before another person, it just lightens the load.
And it's warming.
It's warming. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's something with the smile effect, and so I encourage everyone to smile more. Yeah.
I totally agree. So if you want to look into Smile Train, it's smiletrain.org, and you can donate. Look at what they do. They really provide an amazing service. And let's face facts. We all have our body images. Can you imagine someone with a cleft palate, a cleft? It's just, it's hard on the self-esteem, above and beyond all the physical attributes to it. It's hard on the self-esteem. And we want to give every child the ability to be the best that they could be and feel the best about themselves that they can feel. Yeah. So that's a great charity. Now, also, I wanted to bring up, you have a challenge. Let's talk about your challenge.
Oh, yeah. So I am doing a 12 days essential oils challenge. I love essential oils, and I got into it when I started doing aesthetics because I took a class, and it said it's the fastest neurotransmitter to change a mood. They did a study with cancer patients that after it would change their mood and help them heal. But you have to alternate the oils, because if you have just one oil, then afterwards it may be a negative effect if you smell that, if it was linked to a certain healing. But with the neurotransmitter, when you smell something, it activates your olfactory glands up here, and then it creates a mood and reminds you of the situation, and it anchors the situation. That's why, like, when you walk into the mall, and you smell that cinnamon smell from Auntie Anne's, like, right?
Yeah. So, smells like home, right?
Exactly.
Cinnamon in home.
Exactly. And so the smell can make you instantly relax. It could actually raise your energy. So that's just on the little sense of it. But now that I've done more ancient studies and ancient healing, there's so much more to essential oils than the perceived right now, and the fad of it. It's in a lot of our beauty products, and it's been used for thousands of years in beauty products because, like, for instance, frankincense is a great anti-aging oil. It also helps with age spots and inflammation. It also helps boost your immune system. So there's so much more to it. And I want to encourage people to have fun with it, because they can get so overwhelmed. And that's why I'm doing this challenge.
So how do they join the challenge?
They just need to get the intro set, and it's through Young Living. And this kit has 12 essential oils. Some of them are blends, and some of them are just pure essential oils, like lemon, lavender, frankincense, peppermint. And then they will also get a diffuser, some other products. But the best thing to get is this kit, because it is one that's all inclusive, so you can mix it around, you can mix it up. So then you can play with it a little bit more and understand it, and how each one can affect you differently. So you can just pull that instead of your medicine and play with it and have fun with it. And then everywhere you go, you smell good, and people want to be around you.
It's true. I love essential oils. I'm a fan. And so it's very cool. So how do they join the challenge? Do they do it on your website?
Yeah. So you just have to go onto youngliving.com, and then you become a member. And then I have a sponsorship number. You put my sponsorship number in. And then when you become a member through my sponsorship number, I get notification. And this month I'm sending you a couple of freebies, like 3 glass rollers and also 2 glass bottle. And the reason for glass is because if you put essential oils in plastic, and the plastic is a weaker plastic, it will actually melt that plastic and bring out the toxins.
Eat through it. Yeah.
exactly. So glass doesn't do that. Then I'll get notification, and then I put you into our mailing list, our Facebook group. You get emails daily on what each oil does, and you just try one oil a day. You can mix it up with others, and then I give you recipes, things just to play with, and then little short videos, just fun stuff to make it fun and learn, and then applicable so that you know how to use it and you don't get overwhelmed.
And it can be overwhelming because there's so many oils and so many uses. And, you know, how do you do this? And there's certain oils you just don't want to put directly on your skin. You want to add a
carrier oil.
Thank you, a carrier oil to help dilute it so that it doesn't burn your skin or damage your skin in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
But you'll always smell good.
For me too, it's like medicine. Like oregano has it's an herb that has a lot of great properties to it. So in the morning, I oil up. So instead of putting on my armor, I put my oil armor on, where I drop oregano and then peppermint and this other one called digize in the bottom of my feet. And I do it for my little girl too. And so then she smells good, and she already has her daily dosage of I always put orange on her as well, and her little moisturizer serum that I put, and she just goes like this. She's 2.5, but orange, you know, she'll get the vitamin C and also the lactic acid. I do it too, which is why I have this great glow. You know, vitamin C is an antioxidant. It's anti-aging, and yeah, so it's wonderful.
I'm always for the anti-aging.
Yes.
So, Thuy,
I love the wisdom of getting older, but
yes,
you know, you choose to be as old as you want to be.
It's true. So, we have to close in just a short bit. So, just one quick thing: if there's a message you have about healing that you want to share, what would that message be?
Always look to nature. Nature will guide you if you go the natural path. The season that you're in, you know, like a tree, you have to prune it back sometimes, right? So it's just like your life. You got to prune it back sometimes if you feel like it's like grown everywhere. So the answers are really simple. We just complicate things.
That's a great message. Thuy, thank you so much for being on the show. I am so grateful for you, my soul sister, who I just adore. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate Voice America. Yeah, everybody there, Matt, my engineer, everybody who helps get the show up and running and keeps me straight. I want to thank Teresa Scott Reed, my assistant, who's my right arm and my left arm. And I want to thank you, the audience, for taking time out of your day, out of your life to share it with me and Guided Spirit Conversations and today's guest, Thuy Dam. And you can find Thuy at Thuy Dam, that's spelled THUYDAM.com, or soyouboutique.net. And that's SOYOUBOUTIQUE.net. Until next week, as we're coming to this Thanksgiving season, I send you love. I send you blessings. I send you gratitude to next week. Thank you for being with us again. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me, Marla. I had such a great time.
I'm so happy, Thuy. Thank you.
All right. Great show to you too. We're all clear. I will talk to you next week, Marla. Have a great rest.